Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's market update. It has been a while. My hard drive failed on my computer a couple weeks ago, so I have not been able to do. I really appreciate you guys understanding and being patient with me, posting mostly mobile charts and things like that. Just doing the best that I can given the circumstance. I am going out of town today, so I would expect when I get back on Wednesday, towards the end of the week there, next week, I will be back to regularly scheduled programming as far as doing live streams and all of that good stuff. Um, you may notice also, I don't have like my usual intro and things like that. Again, it was all lost on my hard drive. I'm really hoping I can get it all back so we can, get back to what we were doing before and all of that. But anyway, in the meantime, we'll go ahead and take a look at BTC here. I'm really just going out here and take a look at what has been going on since the last onto our weekly chart. So there's a couple different scenarios that I was looking at here. I've really liked this chart, and this is kind of our volume gap here. This is our key area of resistance, which is also right underneath our sideways range that we, um, you know, basically that we broke down from here back in May of 2022. Broke down, and finally, after quite some time, we've revisited that zone, and we can see we've actually kind of front run that area. But given that it's a macro, again, like this red zone for me is where the retest could be, right? See that this red zone was support, 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 broke down, back test, break down here, and now we've retested it, and I think it would be very, it's unlikely that it would break on the first go. Like when you look at this area of resistance here, we didn't break it on the first try. We didn't even break it on the second try. It was the third one that we finally broke out through, right? So I'm definitely, I'm not surprised by this at all. One thing I do want to point out, however, especially, with looking at a weekly chart here, is the possibility of doing something like this and then just sort of ranging in here for a time before then breaking down, right? Sort of doing some distribution at the highs here for, a nice period of time before getting that eventual move down. That said, my original plan, we can go ahead and take a look at it here. My original plan, I was looking at this and I was, very, very, very bearish. I was very, very bearish. What did that look like here? Sure, I still got it. This was the scenario that I really wanted to see, right? Obviously the timing certainly not even close to as fast, but ultimately, and I recall when we were spending a lot of time up here, everyone was like, "Oh my God, are we actually going to break down? Why do we keep revisiting this zone? Should we be bullish? Should we close our bearish positions?" And I simply held mine because this. If we looked on a daily time frame, this is 618 back test here. Um, I'll I'll go ahead and pull it up actually. Take a look at it. Um, this was really just the 618 back test here. And test it, test it, test it. If this were an hourly time frame, I mean, no one would have any problem entering a short position here, putting your stop above here, and letting it ride. But being that it's on a daily time frame, it's easy to get caught up in 15, 30-minute candles, that are constantly going up and down and up and down and really chopping people out. It really changes sentiment very, very fast. But again, if you zoom out and look, pretty simple. We back tested this several times, failed to break down, tap the trend line here, and got our eventual move down. I have closed that short down in here in this wick when that had happened. I was simply done with the trade. You know, if I made really great profits on it, I was happy with it. I'm not willing to hold it for another 2-3 weeks for maybe another possible move down. I'm happy enough with this. I'm, you know, at that point, I may as well look to, you know, re-enter a short position here if I like it and then get the move down, which I have not at this point, given, well, just given my circumstances that I'm going to be going out of town now. But that is something that, you know, could have been done, right? My point is that I'm happy to have closed this short here. I'm not willing to hold this, you know, for a possible, you know, little bit more downside. It's not worthwhile to me. Um, so given where we are now, again, that was sort of the breakdown there, and we had been looking at, like I said, I wanted that move down to this trend line here. Now we can see that, you know, sort of where the trend line would meet is now getting to be a little bit higher, more towards that 24 zone, which was another area that I had talked about for quite some time. We'll see if I can pull that up here. Whoops. See if I can get that pulled up. Um, well, I'll take a look at. So we've had this really nice up channel here. It has been respected for quite some time, especially this upper part's very, very nice, right? Um, what I was looking to trade, the reason that I flipped bullish down here, I made a plan quite some time ago that I was going to look for. I have it right here. Butterfly harmonic. So I was looking to trade it down here, possibly to the bottom of the channel. As we can see, that was front ran. Go ahead and move it here. And we have this nice butterfly harmonic, right? That, you know, I took my long here. That's played out nicely. We haven't hit the primary target I want to hit, which is 618 here, as well as this downtrend. I think that this would be a really nice, you know, really I was looking for something up here. I thought that this would be a really, really, really nice place for some kind of a rejection. I We also have the 28K area, value area, where the value area high is, you know, right, basically right at that 61866 zone. So I'll go ahead and hide some of this here to make this here. You know, kind of that back test into this zone. It seems really, really clean that that's how that this would play out. And we can see here what happened yesterday. We had a really nice bounce from the order, from the H1 order block here. And if we go down to a lower time frame, you know, we can see that that was a really, really, really aggressive move downside. And just given like the setup and everything here, you know, I was pretty enthusiastic for a move to the upside. And I want to talk a little bit about as to why that is. If we go ahead and zoom out again to this chart, we can see that I went ahead and drew the 382 from here to here. The 382 is typically where you would want to see a retracement for a wave 4. So that's why if we were going to do this count 1, 2, 4, look at something like this, I think that this would be, I'll put it to you this way. The idea for a continuation to the downside to get to those eventual, you know, much lower levels, that plan is still very much intact. That said, if there were to be a bounce to the upside, this is where it would have to happen, in my opinion. Okay. So wave 4 is characterized by profit taking. So this could be, you know, distribution, some profit taking, right? We get one more wave 5, right, to basically wreck these shorters here. Okay. Get people very bullish. Sure, we would, if we did get this move where we took out this high, I'm sure people would very much start calling for 40K and higher. So the reason why I ultimately brought it up is, so as long as we continue to hold the 382, you know, right around that 26.6 level, as long as we continue to hold this zone, as long as this low holds here, I think that it is possible that we get a move up to new highs. Okay. Now, how probable it is, you know, starts to change every single day, and that's kind of where we go down to this lower time frame here. You know, and we ask ourselves, is this butterfly harmonic intact? Is it going to, you know, play out to the upside? And you know, I really would have preferred that it had done it here, front running this order block. But if we do go down, we can see that the order block was respected. I mean, to the dollar, this move down was just really, really, really nice. You can see to the dollar, a bounce there, basically swept this low here, got that move for a nice bounce. But this, you know, this price action isn't very convincing. You know, it doesn't really seem like buyers are showing up to get us that move for continuation to the upside to get that move to the 618 here. Okay. So, you know, really at the end of the day, it's, you know, it's all a game of probabilities. You know, if you're long in here with your stop below here, you're saying, well, if we are going to have continuation to the upside, I believe that we will hit this area before we hit this area. I don't care what happens in between. Right? You know, and if you're short, you know, I'm not really even sure where, you know, maybe if you're short from in here or wherever it might be, maybe your invalidation is this point, maybe it's this point, maybe it's up here, whatever it might be, right? You're making the exact same assumption where you're saying, well, I think that price is going to visit down here and hit this trend line before it visits up to the 618, perhaps, right? So for me right now, I'm still in that long. I've de-risked a little bit just because, like I said, I'm going out of town. I had a massive position long here. I took some profits here. I added more back here and then added more back here, and I've basically closed a large portion of it in here. Because again, like I said, I'm going out of town, so I'm just not interested in holding it at that time. But I still have that position open, stop below here until that low is taken out. You know, I really don't have any reason to think that we're not going to go higher. If this low is taken out, then, you know, very simply, I am going to look lower at the very least to this nice trend line that we've been watching for quite some time. We can see I held the support very nicely here. I would, you know, sort of look for basically to take out this low and tap this trend line, kind of a scenario, right? Then, you know, look for maybe a long position back up into. You would have to take a step back and evaluate after that has happened. But really, you know, like I said, I originally when I took this trade, it was because of this butterfly harmonic. It was also, if you go ahead on a daily time frame, I said this very like clearly. I said I want to see a swing failure of this low and the butterfly harmonic and a tap at the bottom of the channel. We got, you know, just shy of the tap on the bottom of the channel. Just shy, right? Which is fine. It's a very old channel. We did swing failure this low, and we did get the butterfly harmonic all within a time frame. I actually even had a block here somewhere. Anyway, I had a block here, and we fell right into that green zone that I was looking for longs. I entered my long, and so far it's played out okay, right? So that was my setup. I took it. I'm still in it. I know that it's taking quite some time for it to play out. But again, my assumption is that we will visit this price area before we visit this price area as I continue to hold that long. If we lose that low, then we'll simply look lower. Okay. And I've done well enough in this small range here to be okay with getting stopped out. I'll simply look too long lower. Okay. I believe that is it. We can take a look at a couple more small things here. So I extended that channel. This one. And I really like this channel. I'm going to go ahead and hide this. We'll go ahead and hide. I'll actually keep that. Just really nice. You can see how key that zone, right, as resistance. We'll take a look at some of our liquidity data here. So we can see that we have about 5 billion in negative delta just on Binance. On the way down, let's see. Put offset there. A lot of longing on the way down. As you can see with these green dots here, a lot of longing on the way down, which good to see buyers at the same time. This could be fuel for a continuation to the downside. So we do have negative delta, which is a nice sign if you are long. Looking at the 1 month liquidity chart, it just seems really clear to me that we are going to go up here and kind of highs. Just because we really do have that nice area of liquidity there, and I think it would really mess people up to get that move up and then to come down. That said, if we go ahead and take a look at our 3 month liquidity chart, we can see that that 30K level and especially the high and a bunch up here, but really that hot spot is about 25.4 and 22.6. So we can see that we're price is consolidating just above some really big hot spots for a liquidity grab in terms of a 3 month chart here. So again, it's really go either way still at this point. I think this consolidation period here is really meant to shake people out of their positions. So that said, like I've de-risked and I'm just going to go ahead and stay in my position until I've that low is taken out, right? We can see that low that we put in recently here did do a nice liquidity grab here. And have since then got this move up, and we can see that at least on a 7-day time frame here, looking back on the week, that most of the liquidity is resting up here. We do have negative delta if we go ahead and take a look. So 5 billion in negative delta in the week. Looking back on the week, most of the liquidity is around 27,800. Then if we also take a look at our funding rates here, they are generally speaking negative or at least below neutral to where we would typically expect it. When I see that stuff, negative delta, not so bearish funding rates, kind of semi-bullish funding rates. The 7-day liquidity was taken out to the downside here on yesterday's wick, this one here. And now seeing that the rest of the liquidity is resting basically above this high. I'm not necessarily crazy about shorting into this. That said, this doesn't look particularly strong. It's really good to see that the H1 order block held. This is also the 618 if you draw from here to here. So it's nice to see that area is holding. Nothing really screams out to me that we're going either way, but still I'd rather sit in my long than open up new shorts here. Simple as that. So, okay, well, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. Again, thank you guys for your patience with me. I know it's been a while since I've done a video. I really do look forward to getting back into the groove of things and doing videos again. Once I get my, hopefully I can recover my hard drive and I can get back to doing proper live stream and all of that too. So as always, guys, enjoy your weekend. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the Discord. I will be mobile. I'll do my best to kind of answer questions here and there. But like I said, I will be on vacation until next week. All right. Thanks again, guys.